All right, looks like we are live. What's going on, everybody? All right, so I did just do a whole video with without being live. Unfortunately, I just went over this whole article without being live, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do another take of it. So, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Occult Gaming channel with me, your host Bella Wright. And today I have some very fantastic news, very fantastic rumored news. So take whatever I'm about to say today with a pinch of salt. Today I'm going to be talking about the Legacy of Kain remake rumors that have just hit as of today. These things just hit this morning at around 10:30, a little bit after, a little bit before 11. And shout out to my boy Mike Fusion for sharing this with me. He shared it with me about maybe 40-50 minutes ago, and I've just been pouring over all this data and seeing like what's been going on with this stuff. And it looks like we have a very good shot at having a Legacy of Kain remake. So those of you out there who are huge Legacy of Kain fans, rejoice. At least temporarily. This is at least a temporary victory, because we don't know if this stuff is true. But at the very least, what we do know is that this is actually going to be putting this series on the radar of people, of very important people. So at the very least, we do want to tweet about this. We do want to let our excitement be known, so that if this is not true, that they know that we are interested in seeing something like this manifest. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading the article. Bluepoint Games are working on Legacy of Kain Remake, according to the latest leak. So Bluepoint Games here, if you guys are not familiar, they did the latest Shadow of the Colossus remake back in 2018. Is technically a remaster, but from the work they did on it, they did so much complex work that they themselves classify it as a remake of Shadow of the Colossus. And I would agree with that. From what I've seen of it, I've probably played the first couple of minutes of it. It looks fantastic compared to the original, and it looks like they probably crafted it from the ground up. Maybe, I'm not too sure about that, but that's the feeling I get from it. They've also worked on other collections, including the God of War collection, the Icon, the Shadow of the Colossus collection for PS3, as well as the Metal Gear HD collections. They worked on PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, as well as a port of Titanfall. Looks like they also worked on a port of Flower, and also the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection for PS4 and the Gravity Rush remastered. So they got a decent amount of they got a lot of experience, honestly. As far as original games go, I think this is their only original game. But I would even include Shadow of Colossus in there, because they did so much work, basically bringing that to a whole new hardware. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the article. The masters of remakes, Bluepoint Games, have a busy couple of years ahead of them, according to the latest leaks from 4chan. And yes, 4chan is a site that's known for its rumors and leaks. It is a controversial website, but we'll take whatever's said here with a pinch of salt. But yeah, it's a good chance this could be true. And of course, like me, they say take it with a huge grain of salt. They are working with anonymous resources, so at this point it is a rumored leak. According to the leak, however, Bluepoint Games are currently working on Legacy of Kain Remake. The main goal of the remake, listen to this, the main goal of the remake is to stay true to the plot of the original game, but reimagine the gameplay to suit modern mechanics. So great news for those who are, man, Legacy of Kain story for me is the best video game story ever told. And it's definitely, objectively it's top 10. Objectively top 10 video game stories ever told. And what makes the Legacy of Kain story so compelling is not just the characters, but the voice acting, and also the plot is really fantastic, and the lore is fantastic. And this is more great news. Apparently Square Enix want the game to feel similar to modern Dark Souls games, but keep the adventure game focus at the same time. So some of you may be thinking like, what makes Legacy of Kain like Dark Souls? Like, why would they want that? And the thing is, this here gives me very good feelings about their ideas of going forward with the game, because back when I was a teenager, back when I was very obsessed with this game, I thought of ways to improve the game design. I would play Legacy of Kain 1, or I would play Soul Reaver 1 and 2 for days on end and obsess over it and obsess with the gameplay as well, which the Legacy of Kain series, the gameplay was never the best of the best. It was always solid. It was always good and solid, but it was never like really good. And that's mainly because of the combat. The combat was never the best combat. Even in Defiance, when the combat became the main focus, it was never the best combat. And my favorite, the most fun I had with the combat was probably Defiance. But Soul Reaver 2 is the game that gave me the most ideas about the combat, because Soul Reaver 2 has this system that's actually very similar to Dark Souls when you go back and play it. But even back then, I took a look at some notes I made for the game on how to improve it. And a lot of it was stuff that eventually would manifest into the Dark Souls series. Not just Dark Souls, but also Demon Souls. Because Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2 had a foundation of, you could pick up any weapon off the ground that you find. And those could be swords, pole arms, things like spears, axes, torches, anything like that, and you could use it. The only thing is, a lot of weapons did have the same moveset. So in my notes, I always wanted to expand the roster of weapons that were available, as well as the movesets. And those sorts of changes led to games such as, it didn't lead to it, but eventually games came along that incorporated those ideas I had for the Soul Reaver, my ideal Soul Reaver remake. And it just, that's what the Soul series became that. But yeah, the things that Soul Reaver 2 had that Dark Souls doesn't have is you can duck in Soul Reaver 2. You can also jump vertically in Soul Reaver 2. But like Dark Souls, you could block, you could dodge, and you had a heavy attack and a light attack. So a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences as well. But here, they're going to expand that idea and tell you, for me, this is great news. So let's go ahead and hear what they have to say about the Legacy of Kain Remake. So Legacy of Kain Remake is a project that Bluepoint are pursuing thanks to the collaboration with Square Enix. The remake has the main objective of reproposing, or I don't know if that's the right word, but of reproposing the plot of the original game in an extremely faithful way, but at the same time reimagining its gameplay in a more modern key, or maybe that's way as well. This is the best news. Like, if anybody was going to do a remake of Soul Reaver, of any of the Legacy of Kain games, this is the way to do it. You keep that plot intact and you update the gameplay, make it something much more memorable. Because if I had, in a perfect world, if I had all the powers to do whatever I wanted to change the series, that's how I would do it. I would keep the story intact and just update the gameplay. So I hope you guys are excited about that. If you're not, if you don't think the Souls series is a good fit for the Legacy of Kain gameplay, I disagree, but I mean, that's perfectly fine as well. Square Enix's goal is to bring it closer to a system similar to today's Souls games, but keeping its adventure game focus and preserving the environmental puzzles. So they clarify exactly what they want to bring to the table here. And yeah, I think that's perfect. I think that is absolutely perfect. As long as you keep the traversal the same as the original games, expand on that. You have some really good environmental puzzles similar to the old Legacy of Kain games, particularly Soul Reaver 2. In the Tomb Raider Legend games, Crystal Dynamics worked on all those. If you keep that intact, oh my goodness. And then you just expand the combat to something more tactile and more tactical. like the Souls games, the thing that the Legacy of Kain series never had to worry about was stamina. So you don't really need stamina. You take out stamina and you have a Souls game that basically everybody can play, and it's an action adventure game. Dude, you're creating a perfect game, in my opinion, right here. For me anyway, an action adventure game with really good combat. Oof. All right. A project that Bluepoint's team particularly care about, in which is getting technical results very similar to those obtained with Shadow of the Colossus, with a really evocative experience of the environment of the game. And this is what I told you guys before about the Shadow of the Colossus remake in 2018. They did a really good job on this. So if we get a Soul Reaver game even remotely close to this level of care, it'll be so good. It'll be more than I expected from anybody. What I expect from studios when they talk about remaking Soul Reaver or remastering it, I just see them putting like HD texture over everything, maybe fixing up some of the textures and just releasing it. I don't see anybody caring enough about the series to actually take the time to build it from the ground up, is what I'm saying. It's just because we've had so many games in the series start and stop. We had so many canceled. Even as far as, I think, as early as or as late as 2012, right, with Legacy of Kain Dark Sun, or Dead Sun. I'm sorry, Legacy of Kain Dead Sun, but also Legacy of Kain Dark Prophecy. Just quite a few Legacy of Kain games that were canceled. So yeah, if we can get anything remotely similar to this, how this was made, I'd be so happy. On top of this, the leak states that the Legacy of Kain will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive and is scheduled for 2021. 2021. Can you imagine if this came out next year? Can you imagine? I've been posting Legacy of Kain everything for like the last couple of months now. I don't know why. I think because every other game is getting a remake. All these other PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 1 classics are getting remakes for the PS4. Even Medieval got a remake. The whole Crash collection got a remake. The whole Spyro collection got a remake. You have Final Fantasy 7 remake. You have Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake. And before that, before even this generation, you had the Resident Evil 1 remake. You had Tomb Raider got a remake. First Tomb Raider. Metal Gear Twin Snakes happened for the GameCube. You had, so many games from that era have already been remade and look fantastic, except for this. And this is my remake. So I've been looking at everybody get these remakes, and I've been happy for people. Like, I've been watching people really, really happy about these remakes, and I've been very happy for them. But I've been like, man, like, can I ever get a remake of Legacy of Kain? Any one of them. Like, Blood Omen, please give me Blood Omen. Soul Reaver 1, please give me Soul Reaver 1. Even, hey, if you want to start with Defiance, please, by all means, have at it. But yeah, the reveal should happen sometime during the Summer Game Fest, which runs until August 2020. If this is true, they're saying that, yeah, we might see something as early as August, which, hey, fingers crossed. Now we know from a reliable source, Jason Schreier, that Bluepoint Games are currently working on a Demon's Souls remake, but both Sony and the devs are yet to officially confirm these details. It seems unlikely that Bluepoint have the capacity to work on 3 major games. The leak also mentions Jak and Daxter remakes at the moment, which makes this leak a bit shaky, but who knows? This would not be the most unexpected thing that happened in the gaming industry, that's for certain. So yeah, it seems a bit fantastical for them to be working on 3 different games. I'm just gonna hop over here to this Reddit thread over here, and this one's pretty good. This one's from 3 months ago. This user is asking, why is everyone so confident that Bluepoint's next game is a Demon's Souls remake? which I believe that was confirmed sometime in July or fucking January. I believe that was confirmed sometime back in January. And there was a tweet about this. There's a bunch of information here, but there was a tweet about this. A very interesting, a very clever tweet, which I believe is from. Is it from Bluepoint? Yeah, it's from Bluepoint. So calm this spooky night. A symphony of rumors, not one, but two, return from shadow. A resistance to dart home as black monsters escape, twisted heels to wander lands and siphon souls. Filter your candy collections, soft from solid, and be eco-friendly. Have a metal Halloween. So that's pretty cool. That's a nice little poem. Nice little soliloquy. But if you notice, there's a lot of references to other games in here. We have Night and Symphony. That's going to be related to Symphony of the Night, Castlevania. Excuse me. We have Shadow here, which I think is Tenchu, right? Tenchu, I think. I'm not sure. That could be Tenchu. I'm not entirely sure. A resistance to dart home. That might be resistance. As black monsters escape to twisted hills, to wonderlands and siphon souls. That's going to be Silent Hill, most likely. And Siphon Souls is the most interesting part here. They spell Siphon in the way Siphon Filter spells it. So, of course, that's a reference to Siphon Filter. Siphon by itself is actually spelled like that. That's the actual word, Siphon. Siphon itself is probably going to bring up Siphon Filter. Or it brings it up the way this is spelled. But maybe it's also spelled this way. I'm not too sure. Somewhere it might be spelled with the Y. But for here, people think the souls here refers to demon souls because they also mention soft here. So yeah, this could be demon souls, soft, and souls. We also have a Metal Gear reference with solid and metal. But since these are all seemingly PS1 games, except for Resistance, if this is Resistance, I'm not even sure. Since these are mostly PS1 games, I think the souls here could be referring to Soul Reaver. And then we have the dark here as well. So I mean, if we look at all these things, it all does seem like kind of a reference to Soul Reaver, but maybe I'm just reaching. I'm probably just reaching. But yeah, then we have this thread over here I was looking at. Most people think it's a Demon Souls remaster, but people do want to see the Blood Omen remaster. So I just say to all these people, and this is really good advice here. This person says if they touched Legacy of Kain series and they don't at least talk to Amy Hennig, they've taken a wrong turn. Yeah, if you're messing with the story, if you want to do anything with that story, talk to this woman right here. This woman knows what she's doing as far as writing the Legacy of Kain series. They really need Amy Hennig back involved with this, which I'm sure they can get her. This is her baby. I mean, I forget how much involvement she had with the first Blood Omen game, but from Soul Reaver 2 onward, this has really been her story. So they really need to get Amy Hennig back involved. Yeah. Yep. They need to get Amy Hennig back involved. Because they're with Soul Reaver 1, if they are doing Soul Reaver 1, which I could go either way. If they're doing Soul Reaver 1 or Blood Omen 1, perfect. I would prefer Blood Omen 1 because that gives them the ability to tell the rest of the series in chronological order. But they don't really have to because the series is about time travel, so they could kind of jump back and forth between them just fine. Or you could just say you could later release the Blood Omen prequel, the prequel to Soul Reaver. Yeah, oh man, this is so good. But yeah, if you want to see more Legacy of Kain, like even if this is just a rumor, I suggest everybody just, get out there, let your excitement be known, tweet about it, make videos about it. That's why I'm making this YouTube video right now. I don't normally react to anything. I don't do reaction videos, and I especially don't do like videos like this where I'm just like, giving you guys news. But this is really good news. Like I have to oof, I have to really put this out there. And yes, guys, I am live. As you guys can probably see now. I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but I am live. I'm a bit latent, but I'm gonna go ahead and answer your chats. Yes. Very excited. Very excited. I am excited. Yeah, well, that's most of what I have to say about it. We have the news there. We have the Bluepoint, what they've been working on. I haven't really been keeping up with Bluepoint at all. Like, I've just learned about them today. They have a really good track record here. So if they are making this game, this thing is in great hands, honestly. So I'm very excited about that. I'd be interested to know what you guys think about it. Like, do you guys really like, how excited are you guys like about the combat? Do you guys think the Dark Souls way is the way to approach the series as far as combat goes, or was something more similar to, say, Devil May Cry or God of War, would that be the best thing? Because that's what Defiance did. Defiance made the combat a lot faster and made things a lot more streamlined. But the original games are more like they were more slowly paced when it comes to the combat, and it was more cerebral. You had to really think about, you know, what to do with this enemy. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of the video. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are excited about the Legacy of Kain remake. Hope you guys are tweeting about this and making videos and posting about it, and, you know, reliving your Legacy of Kain nostalgia. I want to see a bunch of Legacy of Kain playthroughs. I might start mine a bit earlier than I intended. But man, yeah, great news. I hope this is true. If it's not true, it is still good news, because this is gonna put Legacy of Kain on the radar of very important people at Square Enix and around the industry in general. As long as we show our excitement, that'll show them like there's viability in this franchise. So appreciate you guys for listening to me ramble today. Hope you guys are enjoying your day. Hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. Till next time, guys. Peace.